What you gonna do if we out there on the road and you killed him?
Go to jail.
How bright's your future then?
Not that bright.
You might still be able to do all them things, or you might not. That's what we're trying to tell you. You pay attention now, it may save some changes in your life that you don't want in the future. Road trip, 4 volunteers in the chairs over there. Any 4 people, don't be scared. I'm not gonna bite your head off or nothing like that. I'm not gonna beat you down.
Come on, 4, move.
Whoever gets in there.
First 4 there.
Come on. 4.
One more.
Come on.
Go ahead. All right, we're on a road trip. You driving. You old enough to be driving? Huh? Looks like we need to put you in a go-kart. We're riding down the road. Y'all are riding in his car, he's driving. Y'all just do what y'all normally do. See if y'all get him mess up. Huh? Mess with the radio, talk to it, do whatever. Huh? What's she doing over there? She's getting your phone, man. I think she got your cell phone. Huh? What is that? You just read. He's looking over at her instead of looking at the road. You're looking at the road. Where you at right now? You're probably right out here somewhere. You know why?
I need some donations.
We got one still alive.
I jumped out.
You jumped out. You definitely hurt me. Because the back wheel probably run over you. You jumped out. See what we're saying? It don't matter. You can sit there and you can be trying to pay attention. If they're messing with you and you're driving down the road, who's responsible for everybody in that car? You are. How you gonna feel if you're driving down the road and you have a wreck and you kill them, but you live?
I feel really bad.
It mess with you, will it? You don't want that to happen. If they messing with you in your car, pull over and drop them off at the local Circle K and tell them to get out and call mama. Come get them. You don't need them. They can't act right, send them down the road. It's your responsibility in that car. We don't want you hurting yourself. We don't want you hurting anybody else. Especially me. You're too cool. Y'all have a seat. Appreciate y'all's help.
If y'all want to make some brownie points, I had a friend of mine told his son, if you're in the car with somebody and they're riding down the road and texting, he said, tell them to pull over. He said, I don't care where you're at or what time it is, I'll come get you. One night it happened. He told him to pull over, called his daddy, tell him to come get him, talking about scoring some brownie points. Just letting you know.
Distracted driving. Talking on a cell phone. Nobody does that, does it? Only every other vehicle you see going down the road is on a cell phone, not paying attention to the road. Managing the tunes. None of y'all do that, any do you? Better to remain silent. Talking to people in the back seat. That's one of your, that's more dangerous than messing with the tunes. You know why? What are you going to do when you talk to somebody in the back seat? You can't see what's going on in front of you if you're looking behind you. That's why we got mirrors. If it was okay to look behind you, they can just take the mirrors out and just turn around and look. It don't work that way. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Texting. Put the phone down. Your life, my life is not worth it. It's not worth it, people. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. That's why.
Let them look at this for a minute. What's wrong?
What's wrong with this picture? Where's that truck at?
The car's
Where's it parked at? What's this right here?
All right, pay attention now.
Pay attention. What's this right here? That's the rumple strip. He's on the shoulder of the road. The truck is parked on the shoulder of the highway. How'd that car get there?
He wasn't He was drunk.
Drunk? You think he was drunk?
Yeah.
I bet he
He
wasn't
was
drunk.
big and bad driving a $70,000 Corvette. Ain't nothing gonna happen to him.
Yeah, he's tough. Big old car.
He was texting.
How do we know that?
How do I know that? Oh, he sent a message at the time it happened.
No, he didn't get it sent. When they pulled this man out of this car, his phone was still in his hand with a half-written text message. A half-written text message. That's how they know he was texting and driving. How did he get up underneath this vehicle right here? By the way, see this right here? Y'all know what that is? That's the bumper of that trailer. It stops right there. So it had to come from there to there. Not a good deal. How many of y'all been driving down the road, see somebody texting on the phone, and they'll drift over in another lane, all of a sudden they jerk it back in the other lane?
Every time.
What happened right here? He's driving down the road, probably trying to get a date, something like that. He's texting. He's trying to get home, wherever he's going. He's sending this text message. He looks up, sees this truck on the shoulder of the road. He thinks he done switched lanes, so he jerks it over real quick to get back in his lane. And that's where he ended up. The truck was stopped. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to you or anybody else riding in your car. It can happen in a split second. Watch it. This is all one accident. It's the same accident. Notice anything funny about this right here? Construction zone. There's that van again.
What happened? What was that? It's just a truck.
Ain't no nose on there. He done cleared the highway. Can happen in a hurry. You got to pay attention. Let me ask y'all a question. How much you think a ticket is in an 18-wheeler for texting and driving? 1,500? Anybody else?
3,500.
3,500? You closer.
Or
$2,750 to send one text message and get caught in an 18-wheeler. Not to mention it's probably going to cost you your job and everything else. It's not worth it. I don't know how much one is in a car, but I know it's probably not cheap there either. Road trip. Results of the vehicle occupants. Dusty powder burns. Why do we have dusty powder burns? Airbags. Airbag may save your life, but it will hurt you. You'll have bruises, probably may have some cuts. Be sore from an airbag, I promise you. Won't you?
Yep.
Bent metal, broken glass. Oh, that can be fixed, right? Insurance company pay for that. Loss of vehicle insurance. Why would you lose your vehicle insurance? Huh?
Because it got
They don't want to keep paying for accidents. Plus, whose insurance is it anyhow? Probably mom and daddy's, because you ain't old enough to get it yet. They'd have to have you on their policy. What happens if mom and daddy loses their insurance? They're not going to be happy. If mom and daddy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Bodily injury and pain. What's the difference between bodily injury and pain?
you actually hurt.
Injury is like actual, like broken bones.
Yeah.
Pain is just like in the state of mind.
Bodily injuries will heal. That pain will be there forever. I promise you. Every time it gets cold, I feel it. And the pain not only is going to be pain from a broken bone, pain right here if you kill somebody. It'll always be in your head. Lawsuit. Who they going to sue?
You, the driver.
You.
Mom and
They? How they going to sue you? How old are you? They're going to sue mom and daddy. And like I said, if mom and daddy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Right? They're going to sue your insurance company. They're going to sue anybody they can get their hands on to get what they want out of it. Just remember that. Ticket up to negligent homicide. That could include jail time. How many here want to go to jail? That's what I like to see. Don't want nobody going to jail. But you can go to jail is what I'm getting at. Hey, you can go to jail. You can get significant fines. Like I said, you can lose insurance. You can be sued. Your parents can be sued. You might even lose your vehicle because your parents might not want to give you another. So pay attention, people. Will the officer know if you had your seatbelt on?
Yes.
How will he know?
Because you'll have a bruise.
Huh?
You'll have a bruise.
Yeah, you might have a bruise. How else will he know?
You won't go through the windshield.
Unless you're driving a 1978 Ford Maverick. I had one of them one time. Or a 68 Chevelle, something like that. If you got a new vehicle, what I'm getting at, computerized vehicles, every year computers get more and more sophisticated. All he's got to do, certain year models, is go into his car, get his little computer out, go plug it into your car. It'll tell him how fast you was going. It'll tell him when you hit the brake, if you hit the brake, and it'll tell you if you was wearing your seatbelt. It'll tell him if you had a passenger in the vehicle, and if they were wearing their seatbelt. It's getting to where they're going to know. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them, but they're going to know. So you might as well tell them the truth. For a lucky motorcyclist, he finishes his day in a Whaling ambulance ride. If he's not lucky, he rides off in a quiet ambulance on his way to the morgue. Can't get more true than that. If you're lucky, you go into the hospital. If not, you go in the morgue. Cars, motorcycles, common road. This is our video. This is where your quiz comes in. The top one, we just want to know how you felt about us when we came in here. What do you think about bikers and stuff like that? The rest of it, just answer the question as you go. At the end of the test, at the end of the video, it's going to come in there and it's going to say you have, for a following distance of motorcycles, it's 2 seconds. That has been changed. It is 4 seconds now. The video has not been updated. So when it comes up and it says 2 seconds, I want to hear y'all say 4. That way I know you're paying attention. All right? 4 second following distance. Can everybody hear that?
There are many different types of vehicles in use today. Some big and slow-moving. Some light and maneuverable. And they all have to share the same roads. But the major problem with sharing the road is seeing the situation in purely human terms. A driver gets in his car, and car and driver become a single impersonal machine. A rider puts on a helmet and protective equipment, and like the car driver, some of his identifiable human characteristics, like his hairstyle or a great smile, begin to fade from view. So it's quite possible that the driver will treat the rider on his motorcycle in a way that he'd never treat him face to face. And the way the car driver treats the motorcycle rider is important because in a collision, a rider is more vulnerable than a driver. Car drivers have a steel cage all around them. By contrast, the motorcycle rider has only his riding skill and basic protective equipment to depend on. But these very different vehicles share the same road. To give this some human scale, we're going to ignore the vehicles for a moment. Here are a rider and a driver walking down the street. Look at that. Nobody would consider that a reasonable way to behave on foot. And it's not a reasonable way to behave if the rider is on his motorcycle and the driver is in his car. The most common accident between drivers and motorcyclists involves a car turning in front of an oncoming motorcycle. Even good drivers sometimes don't notice motorcycles or misjudge the rider's intentions. To avoid this kind of hazard, drivers need to appreciate the differences between cars and motorcycles. That way, they can understand why riders do what they do. The first factor to consider is size. The driver and the rider may be the same size as people, but not in their vehicles. Motorcycles are much shorter and narrower than cars, so they present a smaller profile. If a driver is subconsciously expecting a motorcycle to be as long and as wide as a car, he may think it's farther away or going more slowly than it really is. The solution to this is to take the time and effort to look not just once, but twice, and yes, 3 times, to make sure just how far away the rider is and just how fast he's approaching. The motorcycle's size can make it difficult to spot. Motorcycles are sometimes hidden by traffic, road signs, and other distractions. Even if you are actively looking for motorcycles, you may not see a motorcyclist who is maneuvering safely and legally in traffic. If you saw somebody walking ahead of you on a sidewalk, would you think, why should he have the right to that whole space? So I'm going to share it with him. Now, you wouldn't do that to the rider on foot, and the consequences are much more severe if you do it in your car. Motorcycles will use the whole lane in traffic to see and be seen. But what confuses car drivers is that motorcyclists may not always be in the middle of that lane. There are several reasons for this. They may be moving to one side of their lane or the other to see ahead better or to be seen. They may be avoiding hazards that mean nothing to cars, like debris, oil, or potholes. Either way, the motorcycle will use the whole lane, so don't try to share it. While passing and being passed, cars and motorcycles can come dangerously close to each other. Again, the most important thing to remember is that the motorcycle will use the whole lane to react to hazards that may mean nothing to a car. If a motorcyclist is passing you, you should maintain lane position and speed. A driver who unexpectedly changes lanes, speeds up, or slows down can surprise a passing motorcyclist, perhaps even endanger him. Allow the motorcyclist to complete his move. You'll find that many riders will even wave a friendly thank you. If you are passing a motorcyclist, give him an entire lane. The worst thing you can do is crowd into the same lane as the motorcycle. To avoid a dangerous situation, you should stay in your passing lane until you are well past the motorcycle. Returning to your original lane too soon can force a motorcyclist to swerve into traffic or even off the road entirely. Intersections are the most likely places for a collision for two reasons. First, because the car driver may not detect the motorcyclist. Second, if he does see the motorcyclist, the car driver may make a wrong interpretation of what the motorcyclist is doing. For example, the motorcyclist may change lanes to prepare for changing traffic conditions ahead. Or the motorcyclist may have to move to one side of a lane to prepare for a turn, or to avoid a hazard that the driver doesn't see or doesn't worry about. The solution? Wait until the motorcyclist's intention is clear. You should also know that few motorcycles have automatic canceling turn signals, so riders sometimes forget to turn off their signals. Before committing yourself into moving into the motorcycle's path, be sure that you really do understand what the rider is going to do next. It's important for both riders and drivers to communicate their intentions, use your turn signals, and cancel them after a lane change. There's nothing more worrisome on a motorcycle than having a car following close behind. Now, this means the rider has two things on his mind: what's happening in front and what might happen from the rear. Why do car drivers sometimes tailgate a motorcyclist? Because a driver can see past a motorcycle easily. He may not consider the bike much of a threat, or realize how close he actually is to it. The car driver may even be concentrating on the vehicle in front of the motorcycle. When following a motorcycle,